Okay, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me in the back? Raise your hand with the glasses there. Can you hear me? All right, great. My name's John Clay. If you've been traveling around, you know me for the last couple days. If you haven't, I'm friends with Grace and Ricky. And I want to welcome all of you to the 140th anniversary commemoration of the 1885 Rock Springs Massacre. Just a couple housekeeping things. When we exit later on, there's also a secondary exit here because there's a lot of people and the concrete and what have you. So you can exit out the way you came. There's also a secondary exit here. Also, we have a number of people videoing. Just if you're an authorized videoer, you're welcome to video. Otherwise, because of copyright and other things, we just ask that no other videoing or live streaming except for those that are authorized. We have a number of dignitaries here that I just wanted to recognize. First of all, we have Mayor Max Mickelson. He will be speaking later. We also have a number of city council members. We have Jeannie Demis, Randy Hansen, Rick Malonis, and David Thompson. Thank you all for coming today. We also have from House District 16, Representative Mike Yin with us today. Now I want to open us up for prayer. Ron Fowler, who was Grace Leo's 9th grade English teacher. Ron?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee so much in our lives for life upon this earth at this time. And as we commemorate this 140th anniversary of this 1885 Rock Springs Massacre of these people from China, we thank Thee, our Father, so much that things in the world have changed somewhat, but still at this particular time, we would ask Thee to bless each of us, to be able to be our brothers and sisters' keepers. Bless us to be able to have love as our Savior has encouraged us to do, to love our neighbors, to love all those, even to love our enemies, and to have compassion one for another, being able to smile at each other, give a handshake or a pat on the shoulder. We thank Thee, Father, for all things. We're grateful to be in this free, wonderful life now, to have love one for another, and the people that they will be feeling Thy presence and feeling the goodness which is available to each of us in this life. And we thank Thee for everything and say this in the name of our Lord and Master Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, now we have a special treat. Get ready. This is going to be exciting. We have the Lion Dancers from Zhenghing Lion Dance Club. Zhenghing Lion Dance Club traces its roots to the first Chinese martial arts lineage in the Rocky Mountain region. Started in Utah by Sifu Lu Sang in 1976, the year I was born. Head coach Jake Fitzsumanu has taught Southern-style Cantonese lion, dragon dance, and drumming for the past 11 years. Everybody welcome the Lion Dancers from Zhenghing Lion Dance Club.
Good morning. It's an honor for us to be here at the invitation of the organizers of the event. By request, the lion is actually starting at the original monument at the site of the massacre, so it'll be a little bit until they get up here. They'll perform 3 bows. The lion always bows 3 times, once for the ancestors before us, once for all of you here present, and once for the generations yet to come. And it's an honor again for us to be here and to be able to honor this event and the people who are being honored today. Thank you.
If you have a red envelope for the lion. Okay. Thank you, Lion. We will be having the Lion. If you didn't get to give your envelope, we'll be able to give the Lion their envelope later on. Let's all give a thank you to the Lion dancers from Zhonghing Lion Dance Club. Okay, now I would like to welcome to sing the national anthem, Kira Harrison and the Rock Springs JROTC Color Guard will be presenting the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by that so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Paul Lee will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please remain standing if you can. All military uniformed and police, firefighters, first responders, you may render a hand salute. And please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Anniversary of the Rock Springs Chinese massacre. Today is an important milestone in how we all think, feel, and understand the events of that dark time. Today, we will honor the lives lost, acknowledge the deep determination of those who returned to Rock Springs, continue in our efforts to learn more about the Chinese men, women, and children who made this place their home, however briefly, and enjoy the new family and friends that we have made in bringing this event together. There are several companies here who have contributed an enormous financial amount to this endeavor. Our gratitude goes out to the Union Pacific Foundation, J.R. Simplot Company, Bridger Coal Company, Solvay, the Wyoming Arts Council, the Wyoming Cultural Trust Fund, Genesis Alkali, Sweetwater Bosse's, CJ's Signs, DeBernardi Construction Company, Crazy Chicks Embroidery and Laser Engraving, and JM Electrical Services. I especially need to thank and acknowledge the Rock Springs Historical Museum Board for believing that this was an important project to undertake and working to make it a reality over these years. I also need to thank the Rock Springs City and particularly the Parks Department, who have worked really hard on site to pull this together extremely quickly. Thank you also to former Mayor Tim Como and current Mayor Max Mickelson, the Rock Springs City Council members to raise funds for this sculpture. I'd like to thank the artist David Allen Clark and his wife MJ, video and sound man Erik Hamm, volunteer and tour guide Steve Shea, Dr. Laura Ng and Dr. Dudley Gardner, and all the volunteers and students who have worked on this archaeological dig. I'd like to thank Ricky and Grace Leo for putting together this amazing multi-day event honoring the events of September 2nd, 1885. And finally, and most importantly, I'd like to thank my family and all their behind-the-scenes help making this a reality. Thank you again so much for coming. It's been just really amazing to see everyone here and hear everyone's stories, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Now I'd like to welcome Mayor Max Mickelson.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. As this event has begun, there have been several events to honor our history. I am a big believer that America has always been great, but it has not always been perfect. And what has made it great is that we learn from our mistakes, we learn from our wrongdoings, and we become better. And I think our history, our story has been one of continuous improvement and of being a country where everyone can make a home and can make a future. And it is particularly wonderful that we are here today to honor the events of September 2nd. So with that, I would like to do a proclamation honoring those who were lost in the Rock Springs Chinese Massacre of 1885. Whereas on September 2nd, 1885, racial and financial tensions among the workers in the No. 6 mine in Rock Springs boiled over into a violent riot that would forever mark our community. A group of local coal miners, businessmen, and their families formed an armed mob that marched into Chinatown, where they murdered, looted, and set fire to the homes of Chinese miners. Whereas the preservation of memory and the honoring of those lost lives are among the highest duties of our community, this 140th anniversary of the Rock Springs Chinese Massacre serves as a solemn and powerful tribute to those whose lives were taken, offering comfort to those still deeply affected by this tragedy, and inspiration for future generations to learn from the mistakes of the past so they may never be repeated. The creation of such a memorial requires thoughtful planning, tireless dedication, and the collaboration efforts of many compassionate individuals. The organizers of this memorial, through their vision, commitment, and perseverance, have provided our community with a meaningful space to reflect, to mourn, and to honor the legacy of those we have lost. Now, therefore, I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of Rock Springs, Wyoming, do hereby extend my deepest appreciation and heartfelt thanks to all who contributed to the planning, creation, and presentation of this special event. I would like to particularly thank Jennifer Messer, the director of the Rock Springs Historical Museum, and the Historical Museum Board for their tireless efforts in bringing this commemoration to life. Talented local artist David Allen Clark, whose bronze statue, Requiem, standing more than 7 feet tall, depicts a Chinese miner amidst the ruins of Chinatown holding the remnants of a ceremonial dragon flag. Dudley Gardner for his excavating work and preservation of Rock Springs historic Chinatown. And of course, Ricky and Grace Leo for their unwavering support and countless hours of dedication to ensuring this event's success. Your efforts have created not merely a memorial, but a lasting symbol of unity, remembrance, and respect. May your work continue to inspire acts of service, healing, and hope for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now we will have the artist, David Allen Clark.
Well, thank you. You're all in luck because everyone else has said everything I'm going to say, so I won't have to say it twice. But I would like to, express thanks to Jennifer, the board, the advisory board at the museum, the jury that selected me and selected this piece, which was one of several that could have been done. Dr. Gardner, who was an immense help in making sure everything was correct and kept me on the straight path. Mr. Leo, who was, again, a lot of help and was the model for this piece. Thank you all. And when we do something like this, it's obviously it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and I just hope that that it bears some work for longer than our lifetimes, for lifetimes into the future, that there is more compassion, more understanding, and more justice to help make our communities better places in the future for our kids and grandkids. Thank you again so much for being a part of this.
We'll now have Dr. Dudley Gardner, who's been educating a number of us the last several days, come up and talk. Dr. Gardner.
40 years ago, we commemorated September 2nd up at Western Wyoming College. We were going to do it in room 105, which is a small room. We had to do it in the overflow in the cafeteria. We had 300 attendees. Henry Chatty and Chris Plant, who have passed on and died, thought that commemoration of 100 years ago was significant. The consulate from San Francisco came and dedicated a monument up at Western Wyoming Community College. I consider this extremely significant, and there's a lot of people that I would like to thank. I would be remiss if I didn't thank David Clark and Ricky, and I'd be remiss if I did not mention my colleague Laura Ng, and she will actually help you go back and take a look at the burned area that we found. You are sitting not directly on top of Chinatown, but to the right of you is where Chinatown sat, that was burned in 1885. When it was burned on September 2nd, 1885, the Chinese fled, boarded the railroad, went to Evanston, where they met with other Chinese that were displaced from Wyoming. That is often forgotten about this particular period of time, but the miners from Wyoming were removed, and they aggregated or congregated inside of Evanston for safety. They were returned to Rock Springs after the military came here on May 4th. On May 4th, they began to build Camp Pilot Butte to the south of you, which is across the road, and in building that, they provided protection to the Chinese, and by September 9th, I'm going to repeat that again, by September 9th, the Chinese returned here. Not all, about 400, and they rebuilt the town. The town was brought in by rails. It was these old miners' shacks. There's one at 436 Bridger that we hope to someday restore and have it for display. They were brought in, and the shacks were placed here, new community was built, and a town emerged. I really, really have a lot of people I want to thank. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate Jennifer. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate Colleen. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate Ricky. But I want to read something from that particular period of time that kind of bespeaks what the Chinese thought about Rock Springs. This is real important for our community. I really appreciated the mayor's comments. It was very touching. Lao Ting, who was Liu Chung, survived the September 2nd, 1885 attack on Chinatown. He had been shot in the back, and that bullet remained there until he died in January of 1927. Lao Ting, also known as Lao Chung, is one of the survivors of the Chinese massacre who made Rock Springs his home. Even after being shot here, he returned here. We know a little bit about him. We know a few things about his home village and life in Toisan, and we know he is not the only Chinese man to survive the attack and that chose to stay and live in Rock Springs until they returned to China in the 1900s, and in this case, 1925. Lao Ting and men like him survived the massacre and persisted in living in Rock Springs. Their story of perseverance and grit is a tale of overcoming obstacles in a place where people rarely understood them, but they understood the place and worked there until the 1920s. On the 14th of November, 9 men boarded the ship U.S. President Taft in San Francisco Bay and began a circuitous trip to Hong Kong. They sailed to Japan, and it was here that they went south to Hong Kong. Before they left, they got up and gave a speech. In that prepared speech, what they said is, "We have many friends in Rock Springs. We will miss Rock Springs." They wrote letters back and talked about their time in Rock Springs. The only reason people don't like Rock Springs is they've only seen the rocks and never the springs. This is a great place to live, and we need to never forget what transpired here on September 2nd, 1885. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gardner. Thank you for all your hard work leading up to this event the last several days and everything you've done for this. I'd now like to introduce my friends, and I love the fact that Ricky is the model. That's going to be with me for a long time, Ricky. Grace and Ricky Leo.
Hi, we were so proud to have been a part of this commemoration. You know, 6 years ago, I didn't even know there was a massacre here, and I was born and raised here. And just recently, I found out how connected I was to the actual coal miners that lived and worked here. And we have some of the descendants that came to our commemoration event, and I'm just thrilled that this horrific event in the history of Rock Springs is going to be, made public and recognized. And thank you all for coming.
I am not a dynamic speaker like all the other people before me. However, I want to say a little bit something in deep down in my heart. I left here probably around close to 40 years ago, and my childhood experience to Rock Springs is. Can you still hear me? Okay. The reason I'm saying this is I wouldn't be the person I am today without the people in Rock Springs, Wyoming. And I really meant it deep down in my heart. Not working? Okay. I came here in 7th grade, and I didn't speak a single English. And this is how this wonderful town is accepting me as an immigrant here. And I work in our restaurants what my uncle and Ricky's dad owns. But some of the mentioned family that's very dear to me is the Anselmi. They, like, my best friend Lisa, she guided me, like, don't harass her. And I was in tears in my locker room in school. And I feel like some of these harassment could be happening in the school. But I want to let you know I will never, ever feel hatred in the city. But what I mean is all my teachers are wonderful, from Rock Springs Junior High School to high school. And as you notice, some of respected teacher educated me, taught me English. I went to Western Wyoming College and learned calculus. And before that, I went to University of Wyoming. Wyoming is a great state, as well as the education for family. They have such a nice family life here. You can go home like after 2 or 3. More, if you go to California, you actually work till 10 or 11. Because we're working, commuting, and hours of commute. People commute here, only take them 10 minutes. So you guys are a really nice town to live. I also want to thank you during the time that we're here. We will always think Rock Springs is in our hearts. Even though we didn't necessarily live here full time, there will be a home in our life, in our family, and we'll always remember it as well. What's the last thing I would say? The whole community get involved with this event. I would say Home Depot, Walmart, the Phillips family, the tour volunteers, the museum, just all the things that everybody just so supportive. I want to thank everybody for coming. I know you guys from a long distance as well, or also the people in school are here to support us. I really want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Grace and Ricky. They've really put, I mean, countless amount of hours into this event, leading up to this last year and the last several days. So thank you very much, Grace and Ricky, for all the work you guys have done. Now I'd like to introduce Shuman Lee. He is going to read the names of the 28 Chinese miners killed in the massacre. Shuman.
Good morning. I would like to introduce my wife, Betty, who is going to talk about the symbolism of the pathway behind me, because she's much better at art than I am, among many other things. So, this is Betty.
Good morning, everyone. We are so honored to be invited here and also explain why Grace doesn't like to drive in California. So anyway, as a lot of you know, attendees knows that I grew up in Hong Kong, so is my husband, and we probably know, every Chinese that we know had a story about our ancestry come from the Golden Mountain, which is how United States is being referred to. So this is a land of opportunity. And in here, we have some symbolism that signify our ancestry come from, where the yellow mums, that signify the Gold Mountain. That's a pathway how our ancestry come to this country. And the arrangement next to the statue signify the 28 people who were massacred here. And the mums signify that they never made it home to their home country. And I'm very grateful that you're all here, especially our young students. We all appreciate you're here. This is a history that we should never forgotten. So let's take a pause of silence, a moment, and we're going to read off the 28 massacres attendees.
Liu Son Sun, Liu Dai Ba, Liu Lung Hong, Su An Chong, Liu Shi Wing, Hong Quan Chun, Liu Long Xian, Liu Long Ho, Liu Hoyt Yat, Liu Cao But, Chu Ba Quat, Liu Chi Meng, Lo Han Long, Liu Ju Fu, Tam Hei Yu, Yip A Mam, Liu A Xiong, Yun Chin Seng, Yi Si Yen, Xia Ban Ning, Lian Song Bang, Ma Shi Choi, Liu Long Hong, Lian Zhu Ah. We honor the victims of these horrific crimes and injustice 140 years ago. Since that time, many Asian Americans were still being victims of hate crimes and scapegoating in this country. Just look a few years ago, the Chinese were blamed for the COVID pandemic. As a result, the crime rate against Asian Americans skyrocketed. This despite the fact that Asian Americans comprise a huge percentage of the healthcare workers who risk their lives to save others. But I do see a ray of hope, because I've seen the good people of all races have come together, including in this event, to denounce hate and to support the victims of such crimes. So today, I ask all of us that whenever we see injustice, we speak up. Not only when it's against Asian or Chinese Americans, but against any groups of our fellow human beings. For only when good people of all races come together that we can hope to eliminate hate crimes and scapegoating, and to find ways to protect our most vulnerable. For until everybody's safe, none of us is safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shuman and Betty. Now I'd like to introduce Major General Robert Lee. He's going to do a presentation of the donation of Congressional Medal of Honor and its significance.
Hi, good morning and aloha, since I come fairly far away to visit Rock Springs, Wyoming, and I'm honored to present throughout the world. On the deck of the USS Missouri, Japan surrendered and World War II ended thanks to the bravery of World War II veterans, many from Rock Springs and across America, all 16 million that sacrificed a lot to end this war. So I'm part of the committee that petitioned Congress to award the Congressional Gold Medal to Chinese American veterans of World War II. And why this group? Because similar to other minorities across America, these minorities had to fight in order to fight for our country. So the minorities were all serving in segregated units: the Tuskegee Airmen, Harlem Hellfighters, Navajo Code Talkers, Nisei soldiers of World War II, all serving in segregated units, except for Chinese Americans in America. So why was that? That was on the orders of President Roosevelt, that says China was an ally of the United States fighting Japan, and many Americans left America to fight for China before World War II officially started. So President Roosevelt declared that Chinese Americans could join any service and fight for America. So in petitioning the Congress to award this Congressional Gold Medal to Chinese American World War II veterans, at this time I'd like to thank, in 2018, the 2 senators from Wyoming and the representative from Wyoming for signing on and approving the Congressional Gold Medal for Chinese American World War II veterans. And unlike the passage of the bill in previous awards for minorities across America, the United States Senate and the House of Representatives approved 100% the bill to award this Congressional Gold Medal. And I was looking forward to a session in the White House Oval Office for the president to sign this, but that never happened, because President Trump says we need to get this bill authorized now, and he signed the bill on the very day it was presented to him. So what's different in this Congressional Gold Medal that I'll present, and along with Ricky and Grace, is in the service of Chinese Americans in World War II in the uniform of their service. They could serve in any branch of the military, and we included the Merchant Marines. And unlike past minority Congressional Gold Medals, we did not forget the women. Although small in number, they played a vital role because the women were the nurses in the United States Army and the United States Navy. And on the back of the medal is how the Chinese Americans fought in World War II. They fought in every theater, and they fought on land, sea, and air. So we have the Sherman tank, the famous Flying Tigers that fought against the Japanese in China, and the big battleship USS Missouri. So on behalf of the Congress of the United States, and Ricky and Grace Leo, want to present to the Rock Springs Historical Museum this Congressional Gold Medal.
Thank you so much. I'm just overwhelmed. We appreciate this more than I can say. We are going to find an absolutely fantastic place of honor at the museum, and I invite everyone to come down and look at it up close because it's amazing and very heavy. So, thank you. Thank you.
I want to say a few words really quickly. I just want to let you know that Ricky's father, which is the part owner of the New Grand Cafe, he served in World War II, and he was a Silver Star medal. You want to tell me about your father really quickly? I just want to let you know the significance of Rock Springs Chinese contribution of the World War II.
So when I found out about the awarding of the Congressional Gold Medal, of course, I registered my father, who had never talked about his experiences in the war. Upon doing that, there were several people that I met, including Russell Lowe. When he found out that my father received the silver medal, he asked me, he said, what was the story behind how your father received that silver star? And through that, I found that he had kept a copy of the citation in his wallet, probably for 60 years, and he never talked about it. You know, he was a war hero, yet he was so humble that he never talked about it. And what happened was he served in the Army in infantry, and he was in the Battle of the Bulge. General Lee said that he missed a big battle, but his unit got caught up in enemy fire. My dad carried a wounded comrade 500 yards through intense gunfire and saved his comrade. And General Lee put it into perspective. He said 500 yards is 5 football fields. Can you imagine my dad carrying his comrade that far? And the Army was so impressed with him that they made sure that he received that medal. General Lee said that very few Chinese Americans or Asians even though they deserved the medal, they weren't awarded it. But they made sure that my dad got his medal, and he actually received it after the war. So I'm so proud of my dad and what he did for the country. And I want everybody to know what a hero he was. And thank you very much.
I'd now like to call a moment of silence to all of our veterans that have passed away in battle to protect our country. Okay, now I would like to introduce Max and Amy Phillips that will sing the Mo Lee How.
It was supposed to be just Max, so I was brought in last minute. So, okay.
好一朵美丽的茉莉花，好一朵美丽的茉莉花，芬芳美丽满枝桠，又香又白人人夸，让我来将你摘下，送给别人家。茉莉花呀，茉莉花。
Now the Rock Springs Color Guard, JROTC, will retrieve the colors. Amy Phillips will now lead us in the closing prayer. Sorry, I'm one step too quick. I was kind of panicking over there because my agenda does not have the revealing of the statue, and I thought, but I just do what Grace tells me, and I wasn't told there to do that there. So I have no idea who is going to unveil the statue, but if you are that person, would you please come here and unveil the statue, which is why we're all here, right?
I guess all of us. Let's go.
I can't do this alone.
I'll do it with you.
Thank you. Come up and help. So we think from the back.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Amy, now you're up.
So Grace asked me to say a closing prayer, which I have done many times, and I said, no problem. She goes, in Chinese. So, okay. All right. 亲爱的天父，我们无比感恩这一天，我们很高兴可以纪念在 Rock Springs 苏南的中国同胞，我们无比感恩所有的人为了今天所有的付出的辛苦，求你祝福我们，让我们永远记得这个兄弟们，我们深爱的他们，也说有前来参加的人们平安出行，奉耶稣基督的名 ，Amen。Just kidding. And we are going to ask you to come pick up one of these red pockets. The significance of the red pocket is, of course, prosperity and good luck and fortune. You all know this for the Chinese New Year, especially any of the students that have gone to school with my kids. We've done this. But inside is a little bit of candy, or it's a little bit of candy and a coin. The coin is supposed to be a passing of wealth to you guys so that you might have wealth and prosperity. And also there's a little white rabbit candy, which is just to bring a little sweetness into your life. Even though this is a tragic event, we want to take some sweetness out of every event. So please come get one.
We're gonna pass it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll pass it.
Okay, so last little housekeeping things. Dr. Gardner is inviting everyone to come and see the dig afterwards. Again, there's an exit here through this gate, and the dig is over here in this site. And then we are going to have the lion dancers. They're going to get set up a little bit, but if everybody wants to grab a red envelope, and if you saw, there's gifts in the red envelope for you, but if you saw earlier last night, a lot of us were given red envelopes, so it's kind of customary and for good luck. The more you put money into the red envelope, and it's kind of a fundraiser for the students that are doing the lion dancing and what have you, and the more money you put in that red envelope and give to the lion, and he will eat it from you and take it from you, the more luck you are supposed to have. So fill it up with lots of green Benjamins. So thank you everybody for coming. That'll conclude the formal portion of our presentation today. We're going to have the lion dancers to close us out. And then we would also love, while shortly after the lion dancers go around, we're going to have a picture here at the statue if you'd like to stay for that picture. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And if you don't have a red envelope yet, they'll just take the hard cash right out of your hand as well. Amy, can you come here up to the microphone area to hand out the red envelopes? We got a lot of people up here asking for the red envelopes.
So they're only supposed to get a red envelope after they donate to the Lion.
Oh,
Just kidding.
wow.
Just kidding, but you know, kind of not.
Oh, wait. What do you give a picture from her? You're getting an envelope from you. This is good? What's the camera?
I should do that.
So do that first.
Oh, wow.
Okay, look here.
No, I really want to move them. I want to move you. Sorry. Okay?
I'm not sure I'm supposed to pass them out just yet. Okay. They asked me not to pass them out just yet.
Go beyond this line, okay? I don't want to trip people. Can I start passing them out? Yeah.
Okay. Sheesh. Sorry. And I stuffed them while I was camping. So
Actually, we have 2 more people with me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He's not Chinese, so he can do it with one hand.
All right, how are you?